In January, we polled people asking them whether they think that fixed income investing in 2024 would be any different from fixed income investing in 2023. About half of the participants said that they thought it would be different. About 30% said that it would be more or less the same, and the rest were not sure. The RBI sets the tone for both monetary policy and fixed income markets in India. The first policy is about to happen later this week. Stay tuned for our update on what the RBI has said, and if you'd like a more detailed discussion, join us this Saturday for a conversation.
In this video, we are going to talk on the topic New Age businesses. The long and running public debate on the right valuation of Zomato has drawn in everyone, starting from the retail investor to Ashwath Damodaran and our own Subra as well. So I remember that when the price came below Ashwath Damodaran's price, Subra sent a message saying that I bought Zomato. I think it was 39 or something like that.
47 or something, because he had said he had said 51, then he said 47. It came to around that price, and I said
whatever, around that price he said he had bought. For me there was a sense of shock because I had formed no view on Zomato. The publicly available information gave us no inkling of what is in store. I still don't believe that what we see in these new age companies is adequate enough for us to form an informed judgment. But in any new age business, the critical thing for an investor to achieve is to be early in the right business. Some new age businesses may die, but some live on to reach great heights. The IT space was new age in 1993, and many of us refused to look at it simply because the valuations optically looked higher. But profits grew at such a fast pace that the companies justified those valuations within 2 or 3 years. So obviously we were proved wrong because we did not make that effort to find out how earnings would change, how the trajectory of growth would change, and how all that would eventually validate and justify investment decisions in those companies. Are the new age businesses of the present, the Zomatos, the Paytms, the Policy Bazaars of the day, in that same space? There are numerous companies which are platforms in new age businesses. I'm going to ask Subra what made him buy Zomato in the first place, and after that we'll go into the other companies.
See, first of all, what happens is, by the time you realize you know how to invest and you've created a portfolio, you are old. You are in your 50s at least, if not 60s, and then you use Peter Lynch and say, will I invest? Am I using that product? The answer is no, I'm not using that product. I will not use the product because 200 meters from my house I could get a plate of idli vada for something like 50 bucks. So I wear my shorts, go there and eat, and for me 50 bucks is what I pay. Cut to my daughter who wants to leave for office at 9. She wants the same idli vada. She looks at that 50 buck idli vada. There is 40 rupee jump up by Zomato, plus there is a 20 rupee or 25 rupee delivery charge. So what I get for 50 rupees, 200 meters away from my house, my daughter gets it at 115 inside the house. So to me it looks like ridiculous that I should pay 65 bucks extra, because when I started my life I would have started on a salary of 1800 rupees. So for 1800 rupee guy, the mindset doesn't change very easily. For my daughter who gets up at 8 o'clock to go at 9 o'clock, all she has to do is go to Swiggy or Zomato, place the order, go take a bath, and by the time she is ready or she's had her bath, the food is at the door, she has to just pick it up, eat and rush. So for women, especially younger girls and younger women, it's very useful because you don't have to dress up and go. largely people see it as a markup. Now, if this place was 2 kilometers away and I took my car and went there and I paid the valet some money and there was parking fee to be paid, it's completely offset.
So, brother, the logic of going to a place and picking up anything is gone. There's no logic in that. And what has replaced it is a far more efficient system. Even if it's 10% more or 20% more, I don't see any problem in paying that sum. So, that is established. But what is not established is whether this business has headroom for growth in other geographies it is yet to enter, which is smaller cities. Whether it's saturated, what would happen if the price of this service increases and if the disposable income decreases? I'll give you a parallel. Uber and Ola today is not being used at the same intensity as it was pre-COVID, maybe in 2019 or so, 18 or 19. Similarly, the number of vehicles plying on Uber and Ola is also not the same. I feel it has come down significantly, and you have so much cancellation and other things. Only the auto rickshaws which are now moved on to these platforms. So effectively, if you are looking at Uber and Ola as an investment, let's say in 17, 18 or 19, you would have factored in a lot more growth than they have in reality managed to capture. So the question in my mind is, are we in a similar situation with Swiggy and Zomato? Are we over factoring growth into our estimation? What if the number of riders goes down, which is a practical challenge? What if the number of riders goes down? What if the number of people wanting to do this work goes down? Because I think the number of people wanting to be a Uber driver or a Ola driver has gone down.
I don't know whether it has gone down, but the last figure that I have got is about 50 lakhs between Uber, Zomato, Ola and Swiggy. About 50 lakh people are employed, and I think that's a huge number. It employs more people, maybe 2 times more than the railways. And these are all entrepreneurs. Somebody starts working at 4 AM, somebody starts working at 4 PM. So throughout the day or night, you can get a vehicle. I think it's an amazing service. I think it will survive, it will do well. And I think a lot of scope exists. For example, if Zomato were to start a service saying food from celebrities, right? One celebrity makes food and 10 of his fans want, and he makes food for 10 people. People will pay a huge premium for it. Secondly, pin code wise, they know how many biryanis sell, how many idlis sell, how many vadas sell. People would be indifferent from who's the manufacturer, so they could just come. Food margins are huge because the cost of raw material and the end price is really fantastic, and there is no ambience needed. You are fighting real estate. Because the hotel guy says, okay, my kitchen is being used 2 times, 3 times more than what I could do. So you're competing with real estate, you're competing with convenience, you're competing at 11 o'clock in the night, people don't want to go out to eat food. All these things.
But still, they have been very bad allocators of capital the other day. 10-minute, 15-minute delivery was a disaster. There have been so many things which these people do, which have not really...
But see what happens in the old business, no? You understand how to allocate capital. In a new business, you have to experiment and fail. You can't help it. You have to only ensure that you don't allocate too much. Because I know Swiggy, for example, gives you 10-minute delivery. So I know people who just put something on the stove and realize, oh my God, I don't have oil. They switch it off, call it, and in 10 minutes they have oil.
Instamart. We're talking about Instamart.
The ability to prepare even for 10 minutes is not there. People, oh my God, this is missed. 8 of the 10 ingredients are there, just they place order for 2 and still make the dish. Maybe the earlier generation thought and planned for everything. They had everything, they had it in place, then they started cooking. Today, and people are willing to pay a price. The younger generation is assuming that I will pay this price. They are not assuming that they will travel by public transport, for example.
So your assumption is that they are solving problems which they will continue to do for a long time to come.
Problems which do not exist for 50-year-olds but exist for 20-year-olds.
Yeah, they exist, let's face it.
They exist, so they don't want to. I mean, I know girls who say, sir, to go out I have to dress up. They can't just go out casually. We can go out casually, right? So they can't. So they have to wash their face and wear a lipstick and all those things. It's not worth doing all that, so they get food. I mean, I see parties where people say, let's have a party, and I said, okay, they place orders for 20 plates of vadas, 30 plates of vadas, and all that comes through Swiggy and Zomato, very well delivered at home. I don't think we should be skeptical about that. I mean, 10 years back, if somebody had told you that 2 Indian companies are going to place for 1,000 aircraft order, you wouldn't have believed it.
I'm going to come to another question, which is that today you have only Zomato. In 6 months you may have Swiggy also. Will that lead to a derating of both these companies because you have option to buy either, and both are doing almost equally well?
Duopolies are necessary. If one dies, the other guy is going to screw you.
No, that won't happen.
No, I'm just saying. So there is Uber, there is Ola. You can get comparative quotes. I'm sure if one dies, the other guy is going to dominate.
No, from the looks of it, in all these duopolies, they may have to raise money another 1 or 2 times, not more than that. After that, they would become self-sufficient. So I'm not in that camp which says that you need perpetual supply of capital. I'm not in that camp.
I mean, look at the mutual fund industry. I mean, you can actually ask, why should a mutual fund be listed? Except for the limited purpose of liquidity for their employees, mutual fund is not a business which requires capital. If you are reasonably profitable, even with 100 crore capital, or maybe today 2,500 crores like Jio, BlackRock, after that you should not require money because